I am Silvia Vasquez. I am from San Francisco. I'm originally from Lima, Peru. And I am the author of In the Shadow of the Mountain. From ages 6 to 10, I was sexually abused in my house by a family friend. The shame that had happened to me started growing inside. I became an alcoholic and an addict. My life was spiraling out of control, and I hit rock bottom. I asked my mother for help, and she had me going down to Peru to do a powerful healing session. After I was done with the meditation, I was inspired. I figured, if I need to bring this massive pain that has haunted all my life, why don't I take it to the biggest, tallest mountain in the world? So I decided to walk to the base of Everest without any experience whatsoever.
I gotta tell you, it was the best day of my life yesterday because my lifelong dream came true.
Now, I am so proud and grateful to have become the first openly gay woman in the world to have completed climbing the 7 summits, the tallest mountain in each continent in the world.
Silvia Vasquez Lovato, author of In the Shadow of the Mountain, is here with us in studio. Thank you so much for joining us.
Tamron, what an honor.
Thank you. The honor is mine. This memoir, in it, you talk about how, after the fact, it was just emotionally taxing to relive a lot of that trauma and pain. And I think most people would understand why. At some point, though, you said that about the book, what if I just stopped, just lean back and let go right now? Plummet into the void with the ice and scream. You've gone on these emotional up and down parts of your life with this book. How did it feel on that last page when you turned it into the publisher?
My God, it was one of the most amazing experiences. Writing this journey saved my life. It was so powerful. I had to revisit so many of the painful memories, but I am so proud that I was being able to bring out such a raw, vulnerable, and honest story to share with the world, because I know I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
And the power of healing is when we connect to each other, when we combine to each other together. And I was so proud because I felt I brought everything and I put everything on the table.
Yeah, you talk about knowing that we all have this, right?
Yes.
This is something that's so relatable. We talk about celebrities and the content they're attracted to and wanting to bring the story. Selena Gomez wants to bring your story to the next level because she too knows how relatable this is, how important it is. Could you ever have imagined that all of that pain would lead to such light?
Not at all. I mean, if anything, there were times I would question, like, how much longer I was going to live. And I believe that, by staying true to my purpose, by staying true to my promise, to do something that actually was healing, eventually was going to land somewhere. I definitely had no idea it would end up at this situation.
Well, we're talking about living a great journey, living a great story. How do you even start to make that promise? I'm promising myself I'm going to do something to not only heal me, but heal. That's a heck of a. I promise to not hit the snooze this morning. I mean, you're making a promise so momentous.
You know what? It started for me, what was very unique is what really inspired me when I did this meditation with my mom, and which I share in detail in the book. And I saw myself as a little girl. I saw that image of me who had, been abused, who was, kind of defenseless. And then I saw, and the part of me that I had ignored for years. And I saw myself as an adult embracing that. And that magic, the acceptance of who we are, is what really started the journey. And then through this vision, I heard this rumbling and mountains form. And it was my little girl who took me walking into mountains. So that was what was so interesting. And so then, as an adult, after we finished the meditation, I told myself, well, let me put this into action. Let me walk to the tallest mountain in the world. And so that's how it all started. I mean, by following this particular connection. And the second day that I came, it was actually the first time I came across the Himalayas. On my second day on the trek, that's when my life forever changed.
Silvia, you were talking before the break about the climb, and you reached this pivotal point as you were I mean, it has to be celestial, even though you're not in the stars. I don't know. How do you describe it?
You know, it's funny because I never had hiked to anywhere before. So it was my very first time. I was just following that vision. I was just following that guidance. A guidance that came from the most sacred part of me, my little innocent girl.
Wow.
And so when I came across the Himalayas, it changed my life because for the first time, I see these humongous mountains, but I feel a sense of safety. I feel, if anything, an inclusion that I've never felt before. And then there was this courage that started brewing inside of me, as if this cloud of shame was disappearing. And that got me to the base of Everest in about 4 days. And then I remember I climbed this small mountain to see the sunrise between Everest and Nuptse. And when it came out, it was just so magical. And I had tears in my eyes. And that's when I made the promise. I said, okay, Everest, which actually I found at that point that in Tibetan, it means mother of the world. So in front of the mother of the world, I said, mother of the world, one day I'm going to come back and attempt to go to the top. But you look scary, you look almighty, but I'm going to do it under 2 conditions. I'm going to come back as a seasoned mountaineer so that I don't put anybody else in danger. And I'm going to come back with a social cause because I want to be able to give back on everything that I have received.
You wrote in the book, we do not conquer Everest, just like we do not conquer trauma. Instead, we must yield ourselves to the chasms and unexpected avalanches. I told you in the break, that is gospel. That's gospel, let me tell you.
Thank you.
It's true.
Thank you. It is true. I mean, the term conquering is almost, so brutal. I mean, it creates so much pain. And it is for us to surrender. To be able to live with that humility, to be able to live at least embracing that purpose that we all have it. And that's what I'm so excited about the book, because you know what? Yeah, maybe it's not literally about climbing Mount Everest, but we all have our mountains.
We do. I told you also the break, I'm teaching my son Moses to jump, and I showed him your picture. I'm like, she can do this. You can jump too. It all starts with one leap.
It all starts with one leap. It all starts one step. That's most of the battle.
Most of the battle. Well, what a beautiful, beautiful book. Congratulations. I know that you've done so much work with survivors of domestic violence, survivors of abuse, and getting this into their hands, and even working on perhaps getting it into places where people need it most, in prisons and where there is such rejection. Congratulations on everything. Silvia's book, In the Shadow of the Mountain, is out now.